Okay. Well, this is it. The final of edition 29 of the NIBS Worldwide Case Competition. So I'm glad you're all here. I hope everybody arrived on time because we will close the door any minute now. And the first team already arrived. As you know, we have 4 finalists. We start with Rotterdam. Then it will be AFEC from Brussels. Then we have Babes Boljau from Cluj, Romania. And we end with Hi-Brun from Germany. Between the second and the third presentation, there will be a small break, and I emphasize a small break, so please be back on time because it will be a hell of a job for the judges to determine the winner, so they will need all the time they get, so there's no time for delays. So I stress that because that's really all right. If everybody's ready, then give first team Rotterdam a big applause.
Hello everyone, my name is Shangli Ma. I'm a researcher in Modern Management Center Shanghai. My research area is marketing and branding. And besides research, I also do consulting for international company and Chinese listed companies. Today my role is looking at marketing. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Jin Zhao from the and my research is related to marketing as well, and I have cooperated with NIBS for more than 10 years. Thanks.
Yes, okay.
Hello, Bhumipat from Bangkok, Assumption University, and I take care of MBA there, and today I will be looking into financial part.
Hello, my name is Willie Redmond. I'm from Southeast Missouri State University in the U.S. And today I'll play the role of Ma Shaw, the Senior Vice President of Tencent.
Hello, my name is Chris Schrage from the University of Northern Iowa. And today I am the Operations Manager that will be looking at your implementation.
Good afternoon. My name is Albert Elam. I'm from the International Business Academy in Kolding, Denmark, and today I'll also be looking at investments.
Hello, I'm Laurent Mate. I'm going to moderate today's matches. The first thing I want to address that we also want to ensure that the microphones are charged, and this one is blinking, so I would want to ask the organizers to check if this one is okay, so it doesn't go off during the matches.
Welcome to the NIBS Worldwide Business Case Competition 2025. The presentation will last 15 minutes. I'm the timekeeper and I will signal whether there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please note after seeing the sign. After the presentation, the judges have 10 minutes for question and answer. I will signal whether there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please note after seeing the sign. You all must stop when I indicate that the times are even if you are not finished. Are you ready?
Ni hao. Hello. I want you to imagine a strategy so strong, it doesn't just play the game, it leads the game. Today we're going to show you how you, Tencent, can become an even bigger global powerhouse in the gaming market. My name is Ludwig. I'm here with Quinty, Bianca, and Chris, and we are just consulting. Let's dive straight in. So our key question today was where and how should Tencent Games invest to capitalize on the next big opportunity? Some of the key considerations we had for today was uncertainty in the market, market saturation, and finally, investment size. I'd like to introduce to you our strategy, Winning the Game, where we'll focus on an investment strategy, a new game called The Survivalist, and finally, future growth. Some of the impacts for you and your business will be 97 million euros in revenue in year 6 and 19 million players by year 6. But let's dive straight in. Cristiano?
Before I have a deeper dive into the analysis, let's have a look at your company's strengths, but also let's have a look why there is a need for a change and which issues you're currently facing. As we see, you're the leader of the domestic publishing and overseas business of the gaming division. This is because you have in-house capabilities that allows to sell games in different markets, which resulted in a grown into the world's biggest game company. And you're also running your own distribution channels, such as the Weixin Game Center, the QQ Game Center, and also the Tencent My App. This seems also wonderful. So why is there exactly a need for a change? You want to discover the next blockbuster game, but there are currently some issues that you're facing. For example, the only 0.01% of the new games that succeed because of the saturated market. And also there's a low success rate of new games in the SoC market. So it is time to act now and capitalize on opportunity to get the first mover advantage. That's why your company needs a strategy that focuses on how to distinguish themselves in the uncertain and saturated market.
Let's now have a deeper dive into the uncertain market. What does it mean for you? So we recognize that you have a strong capability when it comes to insights. You are acquiring top talent that is already experienced in the gaming industry. Therefore, this ensures a great advantage for you. But we advise you to build that further. This capability is what strengthens your USP and which ultimately will affect your investment size. So we understand that you are looking for a new investment. This puts you in a vulnerable position as there is high competition within the industry. Therefore, you need to allocate the right resources to the right opportunity, making use of our USP when it comes to investment making.
So we also dove a little deeper into the gaming market, and we see that this is one of the biggest markets in the world, with many genres to choose from, like racing, battle royale, and also SoC. We see that the racing and the battle royale market are pretty saturated right now. But there's still a lot of potential in the SoC market. We see that the SoC market currently has some issues with players not having enough of a gaming loop. We see that there's not enough factors in the game getting them back to the game, which they stop playing and go back to the older games of racing and battle royale. Therefore, we see that the SoC market still provides potential, but the gaming loop has to be addressed. Now, Chris, can you take us a bit more through the options?
Of course. Now we've looked at the analysis, it's time to look at your strategy. And what's missing is a good, working, and efficient strategy that answers your key problem in a most efficient way. Therefore, we've listed 3 different options for your company. The first one is to invest further in Battle Royale, which is the world most played game mode. However, it is not friendly for all ages. The second option is the racing game mode, which is friendly for all ages. However, there's the least interest shown. And the last option is the SoC, which has a huge potential for growth, but what's missing is a game loop. We also have a decision matrix, and based on this key criteria, for example, the growth potential is scored with 3 dots because the market, because there's a missing loop, you can still tap into this market, which can, in the end, result in a huge growth for your company. As mentioned, the amount of dots on the screen represents the amount of points for certain options. Therefore, we see that Battle Royale is not the right option for your company, as well as racing. Therefore, we go for the SoC option.
Thank you, Chris. Now let's dive deeper into our strategy. So we came up with a 3-pillar strategy, starting with the investment plan. So looking at this, we have evaluated 2 options, an in-house investment or an external investment. So an in-house investment would give you higher control on what would be the next gem in the industry. Also, you can have the first mover advantage, although this will come with higher upfront costs. Looking at the external studio investment, this will come with lower costs and probably some easier scalability, although you'll have lower control and there is higher competition in the market when it comes to finding the next game. Therefore, we advise you to focus on the in-house studio investment due to your wish to have an aggressive investment strategy. Therefore, this will help you step up the game, find that next opportunity, and build your own legacy further. Now let's have a look into how will this strategy look like. So investing in COC industry through in-house will have a medium-sized investment on 37.5 million per studio. How will this look like? Well, as you have previously seen in your company, you have established competition in between two of the in-house studios that you have. So we have suggested for this one, Lightspeed Studios as well as Aurora Studios, in order to give that competition feeling internally, which drives to higher quality. More than that, both studios will be assigned to the project for next year, and we will set up contracts for this new project, which will be revenue proportion on performance based per stage, which will be discussed later on in the timeline.
Now, let's move on to our second strategy, the game. Let's break it down. Fish, you want to take it away?
So for now, the second decision has to be made. On which platform are we going to use and launch this new program? The first one is the console. It's a worldwide reputation, recognition. However, there are extra costs for a subscription model every month or every year. The second option is to launch on the PC. It is easier modding community. However, there's a maintenance updates. It can be challenging. The third and last option is to launch on the mobile phone, which has a mass size and also an easy distribution. However, this has smaller profit margins. Now let's have a look at our key decision matrix again. On the left side, you can already see our four key decision criteria, which, for example, is the graphics and performance of the mobile phone and also the investment costs. Therefore, you can see also the amount of dots that represents the core of the option, which the console is not a best option at the moment, also as the PC, and therefore we go with the mobile phone.
Now, before we introduce our game, let's introduce who we're going to be selling it to. This is Tao. He's about 21 years old. He likes video games and also to hang out with his friends. He has a presence on social media and he really likes an inclusion and community feeling. Currently, he loves playing video games, but he still doesn't really love playing SOC games because there's no loop to get him back into the game. We see that he has some pain points. He has limited retention rate, no customization within the game, and also there's not a big enough community within this game, and also not enough good mobile offerings for him to play on his phone, which he really likes. So, now let's dive into the game and see how we can help Tao out.
For now, let's decide on the type of the game. As you can see, we're focusing on the SOC games based on the Chinese landmarks. In example, the Great Wall of China and also Avatar Mountains to really get that feeling that you're in the map. But how are we going to do this? We're going to roll out a pilot program, which therefore we can identify the customer preferences before we launch the AAA game. Also, how we're going to ensure the game loop, how we're going to make these customers retain. For example, the in-game events, which will allow live music shows and also clothing collaboration of people's favorite celebrity that are playing the game. Also, a daily login can be rewarded by completing daily tasks and also to reduce the monthly setback. And last but not least is the limited items, the in-game spinning and customization that can be done throughout the whole gaming experience to really make sure that those customers, those players, come back over and over again.
But you might be asking yourselves, why have a premium? It's because the strategy of the game is to allow access to custom servers made by players. One of the proof concepts of this is Roblox experiences, which you guys have stake in. So, what does this mean for you and your business? It means you have a higher retention rate as customers have a more customizable experiences. You have more data that you can collect, which we'll further explain later, more customization, and more opportunities for monetization. So you might be wondering premium-wise. Here we've priced it at roughly 16 euros or 120 RMB yearly for access to creating and playing these places. And freemium will focus on having one 5-second ad before you enter the lobby. So here you can see the game design. You'll have the core game, but what's fundamental to know is the custom server made by players. This will allow different players throughout the entirety of the game to figure out out what's popular, figure out where people want to play, and the specific game modes that are the most fun. So, for freemium, we'll allow to join lobbies with a time restriction, but you won't be able to create servers. So, to incentivize the upgrade, we'll focus on the premium model, which allows users to create lobbies with your own customized servers, as well as have unlimited time, and last but not least, have more cosmetic designs.
So now that Town has a game that resolves its pain points, how will we know about this? First of all, we thought about some offline marketing initiatives. So how are we going to catch his attention? We thought about using billboards and merchandise. So with the merchandise, there will be a collection of t-shirts and hoodies that showcase a logo or either a persona from the case that Tao will be interested in to buy as an extra revenue stream. For this, you can partner up with a big Chinese retail store, and it's going to be a win-win situation since there will be also more attention to the store, which will result in more sales. For the billboards, these will just be visuals over big buildings or billboards in the city. Now also, how are we going to create that community feeling that Tao really liked? For this, we're going to hold live esports events as well as gaming conventions. You will be present at the gaming conventions where you will get known amongst other users. And for the live esports events, you can, for example, create an event in Shanghai where about 15 players will play the game and which can be watched by other players to maybe learn some new skills. We've also thought about some more online initiatives, which being social media ads, but also gaming influencers. Gaming influencing is a really big thing right now. The gamers can live stream or maybe do some challenges, and viewers can be inspired to also play the new game. Furthermore, we also want to do giveaways and some in-game events. For the in-game events, we want to make use of Chinese artists that might do a concert in the game, which will result in a ticket sale where people will be interested in to have more sales and more people playing the game. Now also, let's have a further look at our future initiatives.
So let's take a look at the future growth plan. So here we want to upgrade your current AI platform. Why? Because it's fundamental to understand customer preferences. So we'll integrate the DeepSeek API to assess the customer preferences, like I spoke earlier, from those custom servers. This will allow you to identify where and what the Chinese population really likes to play. What does that mean for your future growth? You can analyze collected data from the mobile game, utilize it to develop the AAA rated game, which comes at significantly higher investment costs, and it allows you to adjust to what the market would like. So let's take a look at some of the cost drivers. We have 3 pillars: game design, marketing, and AI upgrades. You can see pillar 1 is 75 million euros, pillar 2 12 million, and pillar 3 10 million, with a total investment of 97 million euros. But let's take a look at some of the revenue drivers. The key things I want to note here is that your break-even point will be right around 3.5 years. It's a big investment. It will take some time to capitalize on that market, but once it does and it has a foothold, the revenue growth is exponential. So your year 4 net income is just around 4 million, but your year 6 is right around 97 million. But let's take a look at some of the KPIs that are specifically important for this. You have daily monthly active users, retention rate, conversion rates, and even more. But let's take a look at our timeline.
Let's wrap it up and have a recap of the 3 stages we have to go. So the investment strategy is starting up with contract setup, mapping the process and evaluation points. As mentioned, it will be a performance-based revenue proportion in the contracts, which will be evaluated to the 3 red flags shown in the timeline. Moving on to the game, it will be the game development phase, which will happen until the first half of 2026 with the release of the app, pre-promotion in advance, and then engagement through marketing, as my colleague previously mentioned. The last stage is upgrading AI, implement, monitor, and adjust, and lastly, the AAA project, which will be based on the success of the first one. Of course, this is one of our biggest risks, low engagement on the app. Therefore, we would like to increase marketing efforts if that's the case, and then later on, if there's still low retention, we adjust our AAA plan and come up with a sequel version of the app.
So let's bring it back down all the way to the start. Our question was, where and how should Tencent Games invest to capitalize on the next big opportunity? With our strategy, winning the game, you'll focus in-house sourcing your new game, the survivalist, focusing on customer preferences and what your potential future growth can be, which will result in 97 million euros in revenue in year 6 and 19 million players by year 6. Just imagine, this wasn't just an imagination. This plan is the future of gaming. Thank you. We look forward to the Q&A.
Thank you, Ting. The presentation was 14 minutes and 51 seconds long. You now have 10 minutes for the question and answer period.
Can we go back to the timeline? I was concerned that you've got your evaluation points for the contract is running at the same time that you're talking about the game development, and it's only about a year, when in the past it's taken many more years to develop. So here you are, the competition for whoever's going to get the contract and the game competition in the same time period that's very short. Can you explain how they're going to be able to do that so quickly?
The thought process behind it is that the game development will take 1 year, as we previously have researched that it took you before between 3 months to 18 months to develop apps as this one. Going to the evaluation points, those are performance-based revenue streams. Those will be evaluated during the time the app is developed, so we know what proportion to the revenue to assign to which of the teams that are competing in the process of developing it.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Your question was to help us to decide where and how to invest, and you laid out a logical, feasible way to do that. But before that, how do we, do you have any suggestions for how do we identify those 0.01% of games that are actually successful?
So in order to capitalize on those 0.01% of games, we really wanted to focus on that third pillar, the future growth strategy, where not only will you be capitalizing on all of the consumer preferences you've noticed within the games, it also allows you to see all of the games and all of the market or the industry trends that are happening to allow you to pinpoint where those 0.01% of games are.
Thanks for your presentation. And I think you guys mentioned about capturing the biggest opportunity within the future. So I also saw the number of like profit, that sort of things. So I would like to know how could you define that sort of number as the biggest opportunity? So, well, yes.
So the first thing I'd like to draw attention to is more market sizing, as this is where we've derived where our numbers come from to show the exponential growth for the game and where the game could potentially go. So as you can see, it's in 5 different levels, which drops you down to 11.8 million that we'd be able to convert just in the Chinese mobile game market alone. And then this gets extrapolated, as you can see, your net income being roughly 97 million there in year 6.
Let us always focus on the Chinese history. Let us focus on the history data. Well, within China rather than because they try to find a chance within Europe. So let us data from Europe or from
So the way we wanted to decide the plan is we wanted to focus firstly on tackling the Chinese mobile games market, because we understood that the Chinese mobile games market has over 600 million users.
Yes.
And the SoC market, specifically in Europe, is underdeveloped. This would allow you guys to develop a game that would allow you to then extrapolate that into Europe, moving forward down the line. So, which is why we want to firstly focus on that Chinese market.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
My question is, would you please explain more about the marketing through the content of the game?
Could you maybe reformulate your question a bit?
Okay. Since there is content of the game, so you have online and offline marketing plan. So do you have any plan? How do you drive the content marketing, especially just by the content of the game?
How to utilize the content of the game in the marketing?
Attract more users,
Yeah, so we've thought about the gaming influencers. They will make a lot of content during their live streaming, for instance, but also when they make challenge videos that could be utilized when we make our social media ads, but as well as the billboards, for instance, which will be with visualizations of the game. So people will really get a view of what the in-game play will be with all of these visuals and content that will be made by the creators.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't want to double ask a question and so forth, but certainly my deal, as VP and so forth, I'm worried about making money. Okay, and so we've really got to concentrate on that. I understand that we have this wonderful big Chinese market here. That's certainly, like your numbers, the way you did that. But do you have maybe a timeline on going elsewhere? Because with this mobile, delivery and so forth, you could really get out to other markets. Maybe, I'm thinking about here that maybe kind of spinning my wheels, not making money when I could get out there first. Am I allowing somebody else to jump into Europe and so forth like that? I mean, because I'm sure that everybody's, attentive about what else is happening in the world. So just shorten my question, how quickly are you going to get to other places?
So we have looked at the SOC market. So we understand that it's an untapped opportunity for you, but as well it's an underdeveloped market. Therefore, we advise you to take the in-house option rather than external options such as going into Europe or other places, due to the reason that we believe you have already the capabilities and the knowledge to build that new app. You can tap in by yourself through this next opportunity, as competitors are still deciding on making a move or still developing ideas around it. So you can catch that first mover advantage within your own power.
Okay. I mean, I respect that, but people are going to be paying attention to what I'm doing in China. Somebody else is going to try to get smart and see what they can do at the same time. Again, I just like the fact that you're going to move fast, but you got to move fast.
Further add on to what my colleague just said, in terms of app development, as she said, it's the in-house strategy which should protect you in terms of other companies understanding. Because we understand that you're a massive company, so when you put your interests in other companies, competitors jump. They try and capitalize and they try and drive that price up. What we want to do is we want to first focus on making that game in-house, tap into the Chinese market, identify that it works, then you can extrapolate it to these different markets without having competitors seeing that you're jumping on to the new SRC trend.
Okay, you asked us to be first focus on local and then move global in the next step. Now your ROI is 3.5 years and the success rate is 0.01%. So won't you recommend us to go global and one shot and reduce our ROI? Is it or not? Why don't you recommend us to go international? First, when the faster sale would help us to reduce our ROI, isn't it?
So to break that question down, first off, the ROI is only based on the fact that you're only capitalizing on 11 million players out of 650 million. So if you have a higher user base, your ROI goes down. And then in terms of mass expansion, it comes down to a cost. We understand that you might not be willing to invest $250 million to create a game that might go belly up, which is why we want to first ensure that that game works and that people want to actually play the game. Because we know the SOC market doesn't have that game loop and doesn't have those retention cycles. Those retention cycles are vital to get people to come back to your game and to generate revenue in the game, which is why first we phase it out in China to make sure it works. We gather that data, we gather what people enjoy, what people don't enjoy. So when you do go global, you don't have to waste time. You don't have to waste time. You can capitalize on the market by producing a game that people want to play and keep coming back to play.
Okay, just follow from there. So if I want to go global, once I have a look, then I will need a new investment, or this investment will be good enough?
The initial mobile game should have the ability to roll out globally, just like you guys did with your PUBG game. You guys developed it exceptionally fast, and then you rolled it out globally. We're suggesting the same thing, where you first just understand that market, just to get a foothold in the market, capitalize on that first mover, then you can push it out globally with that same mobile game, then taking into account those customer preferences, you'll be able to then release that AAA title later down the line.
10 seconds left.
Now you have to read the whole thing. Yeah. And so now you introduce the judges, and then like yesterday, the day before yesterday.
After the introduction.
No, so when a team comes in, you read everything, and you read this as well. Yeah. So then I don't have to do it. So this you have to read.
Yeah.
So now you have to read everything. All. Yeah.
So was it both of them?
Yeah, one of them. The one was kind of working. Yeah.
That's the one that's kind
The
of
video and audio will be awful, but I hope it didn't influence your. You could, oh no, you could understand.
Yeah, sorry for jumping back.
You could understand everything. It's the most important. So we as your team.
Yeah, that's fixed. Yeah,
It will sing around. I think it will sing around.
yeah. So what do we do? It's two sides, and once they're finished, just gonna take the microphone, and the other one can be passed still between them. I'll take the microphone. Yeah, thank you.
你刚是关了吧？是按一下在开着吗？一直按没开。我刚把那个麦关了。按一下就开，长按是关啊。按一下不动，它就闪一下。你没有看到我前面发了？
On the other side, then.
前面发了一个闪，你看，是我方法错了吗？不可能啊！为什么我后面用的就 OK 了？后面一按就开了，然后前面。
That the other person answers the microphone to the other side. Best of luck.
Guys, please stay in the room because we will start any minute. Break is after this presentation.
last presentation? 14 minutes and 51 seconds, yes. 51.
他们下一队什么时候能进来？
现在吧。
看，怎么了？已经35了。
You want the mics? Are you ready? Then I introduce you. All right, ready for the second one. Give them a warm applause. AFEC Brussels.
And then you introduce.
I will sleep. Okay. Welcome to the NIBS Worldwide Business Case Competition 2025. The presentation will last 15 minutes. I'm the timekeeper and I will signal whether there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please note after seeing the sign. After the presentation, the judges have 10 minutes for question and answer. I will signal whether there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please note after seeing the sign. You all must stop when I indicate that the times are, even if you are not finished. I will now give the judges some time to introduce themselves. After the introduction, the team may begin presenting on my signal.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Shangli Ma. I'm a researcher at Modern Management Center Shanghai. Today, my role is looking into marketing.
Hello, welcome. My name is Xun Zhao, and I'm from the host university, Zhufei. And my research is related to the marketing and AI in this years as well. And I have cooperated with NIBS for more than 10 years. Thank you.
Hello, Bhumipat from Bangkok, Thailand, Assumption University. I take care of MBA. And today, for the purpose, I will be looking at the financial listing.
Hello, my name is Willie Redmond. I'm from Southeast Missouri State University in the U.S. Today, I'll be playing the role of Ma Shaw, who's the Senior Vice President.
Hello, I'm Chris Stragi from the University of Northern Iowa, and today I'm going to be playing the role of Operations Manager and reviewing your implementation of your plan.
Good afternoon. I'm Albert Elam.
Now, if you are ready, you can start the presentation.
Have you ever had the feeling that something was missing while playing video games? Well, this is how feel today many SOC game players. But we are here today to help you facing this problem and make your company the leading company in the SOC game market. I'm Sara, and these are my colleagues. And we are Phoenix Solution. Your company in recent years has growing, becoming the leading company in the video game industry. But today you want to go further. You want to find new ways to improve the gaming experience, but you don't know how to do that. Specifically, you don't know whether investing in SOC game is the right way to follow. But we're here today to help you facing this challenge, introducing to you a modding system that we specifically thought for SOC games. Now we can move on with Fatima.
Thank you, Sara. So your company wants to invest in the SOC games, that stands for Survival. So let's go and see the strengths of investing in the SOC. The SOC games has been successful in the past 3 years. They have been a trend, and the companies that has been selling these games are making from from 3 till 10 million copies for personal computers. Also, it's a new game, and as you already know, your company has value a lot these new investments. They think, for example, with League of Legends, if you didn't invest in this kind of new genre, you wouldn't have make from 10 till 15% of the total revenue of this genre. So this is why we think it is important to invest in this new genre. Also, maybe it can be difficult, risky to invest in this, but your company is big and respect to indies or middle companies, it can manage it well. Now let's see the key issues that these games has, which are that there is no clear monetizing model for the long term, and also there is no game loop, which is important to engage the players. Let's have a look on the essence revenue. 30% of the revenue is made by games, 20% by domestic games in China, and 10% by the international games. Also, the industry of games is growing, so this is why there is a huge potential in it. Now let's have an insight on your competitors. The main competitors are Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. And as you can see from the graph, Tencent has a higher revenue, so it is easier to invest in these games respect to the other companies, and also it gives much more support for development studios. Now I will give the word to Daniele.
Thank you very much, Fatima. So we developed for you 3 main alternatives, but just one will fit perfectly for your company. The first one is the pay-to-win, in which players can buy features to help them to complete the game or to make the game easier. The second alternative is what we call modding system. A mod basically is a modification of the game that introduce new features and elements. And there will be a marketplace where developers can develop those mods and players can buy those mods. The third alternative that we propose is the cosmetic item systems, in which basically players can buy items like skins to express themselves and as they prefer. And now that we have clear our alternatives, let's understand together why we choose the second one. The modding system can allow you to reach the long-term sustainability thanks to the developers publishing and uploading frequently the new mods. And this is linked with the cost perception for the users, since when they are buying a new mod, for them it's like buying a new total game. The customer engagement is also very high because they can choose the mod that they prefer and to have an even more personalized experience. And moreover, this will open huge doors to really big partnership opportunities. And now let's see together which is our target.
Thank you, Daniele. In order to make our strategy effective, it is extremely important that you have in mind which are the needs of your customers. Let's see an example of your customer. Let's take Adam. Adam is a 23-year-old boy who is, of course, a video games enthusiast. But which are his needs? Adam is looking for a game that is affordable for him, but that at the same time can guarantee him an extremely engaging gaming experience. He has recently tried to play to an SOC game, but he really didn't enjoy the experience. This is because he didn't find the experience engaging, because he didn't have the chance to add some features or characters that he would have loved to see in the game. In addition, he quickly finished the game twice, and he memorized everything about the game, and he wasn't pushed anymore to keep on playing the game. So he decided to stop and buy a new game. Now we can dive in the implementation of our strategy.
Thank you. Well, our strategy will follow basically 3 steps. We will start with the studio selection. After that, we will go through the mod marketplace that we suggest you to develop. And finally, we have the immersive ads. Regarding to the studio selection, basically you will have 3 teams working together, which are the Games Research Center, the GRC, the SOC mapping team, and the coordination team. The GRC will write game analysis reports that will help the other teams to have a better making decision process. Then the SOC mapping team will map all the market, nearly 90% of the games that are in the market, to find a solution and a game that fits with your requirements. And after that, the coordination team, after choosing one studio for develop the game, will ensure that there's agreement and there's consistent development of the game to be sure that all the process goes with the acceptance of the coordination company. You will start investing between 10 and 20% of the stake of the startup studio, and later, as you usually do with the investment approach, you will invest owning the majority of the company after reaching growth. The game that we propose for you is an SOC, which is free to play. The main reason to be free to play is because we know that there's a huge user base that you can reach with this model, and after that you can even use ads to convert that users in revenue, or convert that users in customers that will pay for your features. The SOC game will be published initially in PC, personal computers, and after reaching the gamer community and getting known in the market, you will launch it in the mobile game as you did with PUBG. The next phase will be the mod marketplace. As my colleague said, we will have a mod marketplace which is integrated in the platform with a whole variety of mods. These mods, which are modifications of the game, will be created by users, by developers that are not in the company, that are only for fun or for hobby. They create mods. But with these mods that they create, they can publish them in our marketplace and sell them to the main users, to the mass market. The users can basically install this mod after purchasing it, and it will be integrated in the game, so they don't need to be aware and conscious of how installing a mod. The mod price will be between $1 and $10. From that price, we plan to give 30% to the developers. The reason for this is because we know that the expandable content is cost for you, has a lot of cost for your company, and also efforts. And with this model, we can reduce that cost and also incentivize the user developers to create new mods. And like this, we can have a sustainable monetization model for the future of your company. And finally, with the immersive ads, we plan to collaborate with companies for promotional mods. These mods will be created by the developers that the company will hire, and these mods will promote a new product or a new brand of a company that wants to collaborate with you, with Tencent. As an example, for example, BYD could launch a new model of their cars, and we could create a mod in the game that creates a driving test, so the user can try the BYD model in-game, and like this have more experiences, and also it's helpful for BYD to promote the car. We will start with the studio selection, and then until 2027 we will develop the game, which will be launched in the first quarter of 2027. And at the same time, we will develop the marketplace that will be integrated in the game. And finally, we will collaborate with companies to promote the immersive ads. Now let's have a look at the marketing strategy.
To reach your target, we thought about a marketing campaign that is based on different points. The first one will be collaboration with streamers. So streamers will have a live session in which they will show the features of your games. The second point will be promoting the games during the Game Award. While the third point will be linking the games with a specific Discord page in which which players could have the chance to share their opinions and feedback about the game itself. In addition, to complete our marketing campaign, we will also develop a social media marketing using TikTok and Instagram as social media. Thanks to the implementation of our strategy, the player's journey will change and improve in a drastic way. Let's take again the example of Adam. Adam will find out about this new SOC game thanks to a streamer that he follows on Twitch. He decided to start playing, and he is engaged with the game itself, because now he has the chance to add everything that he wants in the game. After playing the game, he also will have the chance to share his experience and opinions.
Now let's have a look at the financials. With these assumptions, knowing the data from your company in the recent years, we estimated 3 different scenarios in which, in the base scenario, with a growth of the 10% of your game, you will reach an active user, an amount of active users during the first year of 5 million, which could seem very high for a video game in the first year. But we also have to take into account that usually video games have more users during the first year after launch than during the next years. So it would be also important to maintain them with our strategy. With an average spending of $5 per mod pack, we estimated a total revenue of around $25 million, which makes around 200 million Chinese yuans. And adding an ad revenue of around the 10% of the revenue of the company, you will reach in the first year a revenue of $27.5 million. Now let's have a look at the risks and the mitigation.
Thank you, Elias. As we know, every solution comes with some risks, but don't worry because are mitigable. Let's take, for example, the developers. If they propose a non-ethical mods, we could implement a really strict verification process to verify the mods before uploading them into the marketplace. Or, for example, another things that we experienced is the difficulty of installing mods, because, for example, usually are external files. For this reason, we are going to mitigate this using an integrated mod systems, which basically it will be very easy for the users to download and install the mods with just a simple button to install the mod, and then just relaunch the game, and it will be uploaded with the new mods. Now, we give you a lot of information here. The challenge was if your company has to invest more in the SOC market to try to be the first mover. Our answer is strongly yes, and you should do it with our modding systems. And the key aspect that you have to keep in mind are that with this solution, you will reach a sustainable monetization model and a completely new game loop system, and earning more than $30 million per year. Thank you for listening. We are Phoenix Solution, and we are now ready for your questions.
Thank you, Tim. The presentation was 40 minutes and 38 seconds long. You now have 10 minutes for the question and answer period.
I will. Okay, just to be a little bit clear, okay, because I understand you have to go fast with this, and so explain to me just a little bit more about the ad. That was one of those 3 pillars that you had about the ads that you were talking about within the game. You can go, yeah, you can go back. Okay, the immersive ads, yeah. I just want to hear a little bit more to understand what you were doing here.
Yes, well, thank you for your question. With immersive ads, we will create new mods that can promote products or brands from a company inside the game, creating an immersive experience. For example, if you're McDonald's and you want to promote your company, we could create a McDonald's experience, which could be managing a restaurant inside the game, so you can experience how it works with McDonald's, and like this promoting the brand.
So you're making the ads part of the game itself?
Exactly,
Interesting.
with the mods.
Because a lot of times they're annoying. That's why I asked and
Yes.
so forth. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. Again, you laid out a nice path for us to invest, but how do we know which studio is going to have the successful game? Do you have any suggestions for us to be able to identify that 0.01% of games that's going to be successful?
That's why we have an SOC mapping team, which will map the 90% of the market, the 90% of the games that we have. And this team will monitor all the game products and even collaborate with the studios to try to find the best solution that fits for your company requirements. So it's this company who will do that job, this team.
Okay. I had a question on, are you staying in China, or since you had Adam from Palestine, are you going global right off the bat? What's your plan of expansion?
Adam from Palestine actually lives in Europe, but we are planning on expanding everywhere. Since it's a game and games are played everywhere, we are expanding to go worldwide.
Thanks for your presentation. I think your key issue is should the Tencent to be the first mover, and your answer is yes, and then you propose your three alternatives. So I think some parts, well, why you say yes, and should be the first mover. I think your presentation haven't delivered that sort of information here.
Actually, in the right now in the SOC games market, there's very few companies, and that didn't succeed because the two issues that we identified, because of the sustainable of the monetization model and the lack of a game loop. And that's why we think with this strategy, your company can reach that customers that are right now failing the other companies to reach, and with that gain the first mover advantage, because it will be the first SOC game that succeeds in the market.
But still, well, your answer, I think your answer should, what you show with your presentation, you said you should be the first mover, and then you propose your strategies, alternatives. Yeah, the last page, please, the last page.
Yeah, it's also in the first.
Yeah. Yeah, the Tencent game should invest more in SOC games. So how could you get that sort of conclusion before you propose three alternatives?
Basically, the challenge was if your company Tencent has to invest more or has to stop investing in these SOC games and look at other opportunities in the video games market. And what we suggest is basically a solution for the problem that right now the SOC games have. So you can target that market. Without solving these problems, it wouldn't be profitable for your company to go to there. But with our strategy, we think you can solve that problems.
Thank you for your question. The second point is about releasing trailers about the games that we are going to produce during the event of Game Awards. Because during this event, it is possible to show trailers of games. And since we know that these type of events have a huge visibility, since are followed by many, many people, we think that is a great window that we can use to promote the video game itself. And also the people that are used to follow those kind of events are perfectly the target that are also interested in these new type of games. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we go to finance, please? Okay. your average spending of $5, this is per user, right?
Yes, per user.
And how is this revenue stream? One-time payment, or was it?
So what's the question?
What's the revenue stream? They pay once or they pay ongoing?
They pay once per month.
Okay. And then how much in your revenue, how much is from advertising?
Around the 10% of the revenue.
The total things?
Yes.
Thank you. And what about the ROI?
The ROI, for it, we need to know how much your company will spend, and for that we estimated the investments, but it depends on the studios that you want to have, and also on how much employees.
I'm fine, thank you.
If you go back to your alternatives for me, please, to help me to understand. What is your rationale? Why can't we do all three of these?
Thank you for your questions. Well, we think that the modding system is the more sustainable for the long term, because the other two, for example, the cosmetic item system, could make the players' interest just in the first period that they are playing, because after buying a few skins, for example, to express themselves as they prefer, they could lose the interest in playing the game. And it's almost the same, similar with the pay to win, because once they bought the items or the feature to finish before the game, or to make the game easier to finish, they will not be interested anymore to continue to go on with the game.
But if I develop a mod, a challenging mod, and then since we build community, I can throw challenges out to my friends, and then if they can't solve what I put in, they could buy their way to get to the solution to advance in the game.
Yes, basically with the pay to win, we think that there could be a disadvantage for users that are not willing to pay that much to buy special items to be able to compete with those players that are buying those items. Thank you.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, you have these three teams who are working together on different parts of this whole implementation of what you want to do, right? Yeah, I like different. Yeah, I like that whole idea of different groups working on different things. But in the past, we had success kind of pitting teams against each other. Maybe another setup of this somewhere else in the company and so forth. We had success, competing against ourselves on coming up with something great. Again, we feel that we're the best out there, and as far as competition, our best competition is really internal. Did you maybe think about that, or?
Yes, thank you for the question. The big team is only for mapping the studios, but it's the studios who develop the game, and all the studios that we're mapping are competing against them to give us the best game. So we don't have only 2 teams competing, but the whole market of SOG games competing to get the investment from your company.
Time is up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, of course. And also.
Just wait a second till they are on the stage. Okay.
We Welcome to the NIBS Worldwide Business Case Competition 2025. May I ask you to switch off all mobile phones? The presentation will last 15 minutes. I'm the timekeeper and I will signal where there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please note after seeing the sign. After the presentation, the judges have 10 minutes for questions and answers. I will signal where there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please note after seeing the sign. You all must stop when I indicate that the time is up, even if you are not finished. I will now give the judges some time to introduce themselves. After the introduction, the team may begin presenting on my signal.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shangli Ma. I'm a researcher at the Modern Management Center Shanghai, and today my role is looking into your marketing.
Hello, welcome. I'm in Xinjiang from the host, the Zhufu University. And I focus on the marketing to do the research with and cooperate with NIBS for more than 10 years. Thanks.
Hello, Bhumipat from Bangkok, Thailand. I'm from Assumption University and I take care of an MBA. Today, for this purpose, I'll be looking into financial part of it. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Willie Redman. I am from Southeast Missouri State University in the U.S. And today, my role will be playing Ma Shaw, who's the Senior Vice President of Tencent.
Hello, my name is Chris Shaggy from the University of Northern Iowa, and today I'm going to be looking at your implementation plan and how it's going to operate.
Good afternoon. I'm Albert Elam from the International Business Academy in Kolding, Denmark, and this afternoon I'm looking at investments.
If you are ready, you can start the presentation now.
The gaming industry is a highly dynamic and volatile market. Today, Tencent needs to first compete and then create value in order to change the game and enter a new era. Fortress Consulting, consisting of Richard, Boglarka, Gergo and myself, Kristi, will show Tencent the way to win this game. In our executive summary,
Sorry, it's not working. The pointer is not working. Can you help us maybe?
Oh, yes. Yes.
We are sorry. It's making nothing presentation because it sounds good.
Are you ready? Yes.
in our executive summary, we assess the key question. How should Tencent Games keep its competitive edge and introduce the new blockbuster game on a highly competitive and creative market? For this, we suggested our compete and create strategies, in the end eventually achieving results like a $8.6 billion added revenue in 2030. Here you can see the structure of our presentation, starting with the analysis. Tencent has core values like game experience and fair play, and their objective is to combine user penetration and engagement. Their key to success is focusing on the potential value of an investment, and their order of winning criteria is emphasis on the content rather than the commercial aspect. And it's also important to highlight that they had really big success on investments with developing teams like PUBG and League of Legends. The gaming in the gaming industry, there is a high abundance of games, and sadly, the success rate is very low, which is like 0.1%. The developing of high-profile games is getting more and more cost-intensive. So are the maintenance costs. So you guys have to concentrate on that. And also, it can be noted that. Can you please go back one slide?
And can I get the mouse, maybe?
That the big game companies with big game titles usually win because they can consolidate talent. So this is your focus right there. There are upcoming possibilities like expanding to new genres, like the SOC genre, which are survival, open world, and crafting genre. And if we go to the next slide, there are new trends incoming, such as smartphone usage is on the rise, increasing, while computer usage is going down, a bit decreasing. This is also supported by the PUBG game profile and how it worked out with that one. Can you go back? Also, esports are on the rise. And these are not about the results now, they are more about the content of the game, the skill set, and the statistics behind. So we can see that the relationships within are the game. One further, please. No. One more for, yeah. The game studios, which are small agile teams with 10 to 20 people responsible for one project with diverse geographies and cultural backgrounds. They help Tencent keep the finger on the point of the innovation there. And this is why Tencent backs these companies in the early stages, which is really important. Tencent for them is like a caring parent. Also, they hold the creative freedom with the direction stated in the studio contracts, as Tencent gives them the autonomy to have this, which is really, really crucial in this aspect. So the conclusion is that there's a high potential for Tencent in developer investment, talent, and consolidation, and capitalizing on the opportunity of entering the SOC genre while considering emerging trends.
Starting with our strategy, based on our analysis, we concluded our point of departure. Can you please? Which is that Tencent needs a new blockbuster game to grow on the market and keep its competitive edge. We asked the first question, which is where should Tencent put its focus in order to create the next blockbuster game? For this, our strategy is compete. We looked at the first two options. Which growth strategy should Tencent games choose? Focus on the SOC genre or focus on the investment distribution remains the same as until now. In the SOC genre, aligns with the company values. Innovation, first mover, and opportunity comes before the costs. The mission of the company is launching the next blockbuster genre. There are less resources remain for the other opportunities of the game innovation. This is a minus for this option. In the other one, we can see that there is a higher stability and resources for the new opportunities remain, but we are going to lose the company's competitor's advantage. The key takeaway is that despite the high stakes in being a first mover by investing more in the SOC genre, this move aligns best with Tencent's company values and will give the company a long-run advantage in the fierce competition in the market. This is why we chose the SOC genre. But which way to go from here? We can invest in target companies or produce the new game in-house. We chose investing in target companies because with companies that already have the creative idea and resources to drive the growth. We can step into a caring parent role but give companies their creative freedom because small and motivated teams facilitate fast innovation. One minus here is less say in the details of the game development. Due to the high creative freedom of the investment model of Tencent gives the target companies and the competitive advantage that comes with them the first choice as a clear winner and less high risk one. The problem is how to choose the company Tencent Games invests into. Your company is going to invest using contracts into 7 mobile app developing companies globally that are currently developing games in the SoC genre to fight the low success rate of games. Why mobile app developing? For this, a benchmark is PUBG. There is a bigger penetration and better marketing opportunities in the mobile app developing market. And why globally? Because ideas and game players are global, with small changes between countries. All 7 companies are going to receive during the first year period funding of 50 million USD, plus we are going to acquire stakes, informational backing, clear communication, constant testing involving key opinion leaders, and also patience during the development. There are going to be criteria based on which we are going to choose the winner of the program. First, continuous test results through key opinion leaders. Second, the alignment with the company's values. And also there is going to be a fan vote. After the winner is chosen, Tencent acquires the winning studio and provides all the needed investments for this winner. The goal is to create a new blockbuster game. What happens to the other companies? Tencent is going to keep its stakes in these as well and give them funding yearly, because if they become successful as well, we need to keep them close to us. But how are you going to manage the high development costs and design efforts of the SoC genre? There needs to be an involvement of an in-house studio after the acquisition of the winner company. This is going to give you the expertise of your own game developers and creativity of a team who developed the game that is launched. The goal is to give players the best experience in an open world game. There is a challenge of HR, of course. There needs to be a slow integration of the new team, and we need to highlight that there will be no changes to the game. The in-house team is going to just help them to further develop and have an expandable game. This is our long-term goal. Next.
So the second quick question we have asked ourselves is how to engage with players and achieve profitability in the meanwhile. For this, we suggest you the create strategy. So the first question we wanted to tackle in this pillar was who to target. We have also analyzed the values that are represented by the SoC type of games. Here, survival stands for competitiveness, open world stands for exploration as well as curiosity, and furthermore, crafting means basically customizing. So in the STP model, we wanted to segment the whole gaming sector and divide it into 2 main categories, which would be the casual gamers and the hardcore gamers. There are several key differences amongst them, which would be, first of all, the main platform, as well as their motivations regarding choice of the game. We concluded from that, in order for Tencent Games to make a timeless game, they need to target the hardcore gamers. Okay, but how would we position ourselves? We have led you through with a key question as well. What are the gaps in the alignment of values between the targeted segment as well as the company's core values? For this, we have analyzed 2 key ones, which would be the platform, which would be the PC for the hardcore gamers, and the openness, due to the fact that casual gamers have more choices amongst gaming on their mobile phones. So to summarize it up, Tencent should create a comprehensive market campaign to address the values of the hardcore gamer segment. Moving on. How can Tencent Games fill the gaps between value involvement with the targeted segments? For this, your company should do 2 key marketing strategies. First of all, it would be the in-game ads. Our game promoted in the mobile games, it would be the concept, due to the fact that the company doesn't like promoting other games in their mobile games. We want this to be kind of in a reverse role. We would ultimately reach out to potential downloaders on the platform of launch. Where would we do this? Is the Tencent indie games the company is already promoting, as well as the independent games of other developers. This would forecast the demand for the company of the potential game, and we would also need to measure some KPIs during this period to see how successful the concept will be. It would be advertisement engagement rate as well as click-through rate. Second pillar would be the social media marketing, which would consist of two main steps as well. The first one would be the advertising the competition. As mentioned in the pillar before, one of the key criteria in the game which will be developed is the fan voting. Here we can see the fan voting in which we will involve potential clients into the decision of what game of choice do they want to play and then develop it further. Furthermore, it would also reach down to the potential customers. The concept here is that we will address the issue of openness for the hardcore gamers by giving them a choice amongst the 4 companies that we have analyzed. The second would be the generating a certain hype around the selected projects. This would consist of 3 key steps, which would be creating a launch date, partnering with key opinion leaders for early gameplay due to the fact that it would have them some insights regarding the concept. Furthermore, we would offer an original trailer. The second and third phase regarding the mobile development would be the strengthening the revenue and profitability. For this, we have also offered 3 main pillars. Based on the case, Lee said that we want players to attach emotionally to the customers. For this, we want to offer 2 monetized system in-game, which would be buying cosmetics, as well as progressing, which would be incentivized by also a tier list. Furthermore, we want to implement esports leagues as well, which would be an active and absorbing way to achieve increased popularity as well as a build community. Furthermore, on the third phase, we would see that we want to expand during platforms in order to reach a higher audience, which would lead to profitability, quality, as well as a compelling gameplay. We have put up alternatives from which we have chosen PC due to the fact that it's the widest penetration amongst all 4, but it is also highlightable, but it is a modding compatible device. Modding would ultimately let players develop their own sequels and scenarios. This would hand them customizability, as well as it would expand the open world concept, and furthermore, it would close the game loop, and it would be closed by the players. So now that we have reached our destination, we can see that our point of departure was that Tencent wants to create a blockbuster game, and after closing the gap and answering the 2 questions, we have shown you the way how to create a new blockbuster game.
Now that we have seen our strategy, let's see how you can put it into practice. As mentioned previously, we will have you will have 2 pillars, which will consist the following steps over the strategic period. In order to stay on track with the strategy, we have displayed some of our KPIs. Here I would like to highlight that you will achieve almost 40 million monthly active users with your app in the strategic period. Also, you can see how the number of them will change during this period. This way, you will achieve an increased global reach and diversified revenue streams. Here you can see the forecast of the profit and loss statement of your company. Also, if we zoom into 2029, you can see the breakdown of your revenue in 2029 in $1 billion USDs. And we know that there is no strategy without any risks, so we would like to highlight here the first one, which is that the PC game will not reach the desired amount of audience, but this one can be mitigated with partnering up with Sony for launch version of the game on PlayStation. And just to summarize everything up, the strategy consisted of 2 pillars, the compete and the create, and the steps to achieve the desired results are visible on the slide, like the 8.6 billion USDs added revenue, or the highly increased monthly users on your game. Thank you for your kind attention, and we are happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Ting. The presentation was 15 minutes long. You now have 10 minutes for the question and answer period.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. If I understand correctly, I just want to make sure I'm right. So you have outside developers. You're not doing this in-house. You have outside developers developing the game and such. And then after they develop, you're going to acquire them. Okay, so on your risk and mitigations, I didn't see anything about what if they don't allow you to acquire them? What happens then?
In the initial contracts and agreements with the stakeholders, we would, you guys would have agreement about the acquisition. In practice, when it comes to when the game is out and it's going everything, then then Tencent would have no problem with the acquisition because it would be already in the agreement.
Okay, so you contract with them that they're going to develop, they're going to do this and so forth, but afterwards it's contracted that you're going to, okay. Yes. Thank you.
Again, a question for you. You laid out a nice plan for us after the selection of the company that's developed the game. You laid out, said 7 companies, you had some criteria, right? How do we identify those 7 companies? I didn't see your criteria about what do we use to pick those before development and knowing who's going to produce a successful game.
It was also mentioned in the case that there are already some companies on the market that have some, I think, around some experience and some users already, and that are successful but not big enough yet. They don't know how to grow. We want to pick these companies. We don't know exactly which these are, as we don't have any added information about it, that these are the base we want to pick from, and the ones that are aligned with their values. And then during this 1 year, we are going to see which one is the favorite, which one is the best, and then go with that one to create a new blockbuster game.
Okay, thanks. I would like to know, because you said you guys focus on hardcore gamer, and you also mentioned 2 numbers. One is 165 million reach out and 35.6 average user rate. So, I mean, how could you get that sort of number? Well,
Yeah,
because that is a Chinese company located in China, and the leader, the manager went to Europe. So what do you think? How could you consider about number?
Yeah, of course, we have calculated with this one. If you look at the upper table, you can see that with our marketing campaign, we will reach in the top part you can see how many people we will reach with our marketing campaign, also the number of downloads, the yearly active users, and in the middle part you can see how many monthly active users we will have. So this was the number displayed on the slide previously, if this was the question.
Okay, I would ask about the content marketing. Besides what proposed in-game advertisement and the social marketing, how do you think of you will develop some content marketing, especially related to SOC, Gerald, to make Tencent in future game very unique in this area to ensure they will be the first mover?
So in the concept of marketing, it was mentioned in the criteria regarding profitability of the company. However, we can also see that the esports league, which is actually an emerging market, can be the option to more popularize the concept. It will build us a community. That community ultimately leads to mouth-to-mouth marketing. Furthermore, it will also increase the popularity. You see here the revenue drivers are the sponsorships. Sponsors also further market us, and then the streaming licenses which further popularize us. It won't only be streamed on Tencent, it would be streamed either on Twitch as well as on YouTube and Tencent as usual.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I am taking it from the revenue drivers, sponsorship and streaming license. Going back to our financial sheets, can you show us how did you get that numbers?
Yes, so we have been talking about the revenue drivers, and the bottom part of the slide you can see that the in-game ads, the WeChat ads, and the esports event, I mean the revenue coming from that is displayed at the bottom part, which comes from the different types of advertising and promotions. Also at the top part you can see the revenue from the in-game purchases, and in 2029 it is highlighted how the esport event will affect our income.
So what would be your revenue model? Is it free pay or premium pay, or how is it?
It's premium. Freemium, I'm sorry.
Freemium. Okay, thank you.
Can you go back to the implementation slide there a minute? I know you guys are jumping around. So you have, okay, I read it the first time, competition among investees, not investors, or I read investors in there. So the term investees, what are you exactly referring to?
The companies that we invest in.
Okay. And are those the ones that you have in the competition? Okay.
Yes. So we choose the 7 companies that we are going to fund for 1 year. And during that 1 year, we are going to look at the criteria, and at the end of the first year, choose the winner. And that one is going to be the one that we fund with the additional amounts to create the blockbuster game. But we are going to fund continuously the other ones as well, just not with the same amount. There's a big difference in the amounts, so.
Okay, so how are you going to, who in the company and how are you going to go about picking those 7 companies?
This is related to the first question, I believe. And,
yes.
And it's, as I said, there are already companies out there who we are aware of and who we have seen their companies, and the ones that are already on the market. And there's a game and resource center in the company as well, right, which is going to help us choose them, and then they are going to help them with information and to develop further during that 1 year.
Okay, so the game research team will be the ones selecting those 7 and starting the process.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just in addition to that, also the fan vote is also considered as a criteria. Thus, not only the research and development team of the company will do that, but also the fans who have also a weight in the decision.
As I understand it, your strategy then, your strategy is mainly targeted to hardcore gamers, right? Even though you mentioned casual gamers, but this solution is really for hardcore gamers. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay, and so out of the companies that are not chosen, okay, first I talked about the one that was chosen that you're going to acquire, okay? The ones that are not chosen, you said you're still going to fund them and you're still going to like partner with them and yeah.
Yes. First, we are going to get around 20% stake in all of them. And
okay,
after the first year, we are going to still fund them because we don't want them to compete against us. We need them to still be close to us. And if they seem to become successful, we are going to also invest in them with a bigger amount.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, then this whole idea of choosing these 7 companies and so forth, that is really a closer partnership for everybody being.
Yes.
Okay, so and they're signing contracts to agree with this.
Yes.
Upfront. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You can stay in the room, but a little bit in the back.
All right. So a few minutes, and then we will invite the last team in. So please stay in the room for the last presentation.
That's their choice. The mics are still working very bad because the technique is really bad.
Yeah. Come on, you're the host. I'm not. The clicker worked, but they didn't trust us, so that's why. But that was the choice.
But then I think they are something with the PowerPoint also. Why is it going up and down? I think on the PDF or what?
Yes, that's not PDF.
They open PDF.
Use the PDF rather than the PowerPoint. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and that's the reason why we cannot. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
I can leave them on my microphone here, perhaps with you. And then, yeah, no, because you introduce first, and then I leave it with you. Yes. Yeah, it was a PDF, so they should have thought about what sort of format they save. But I also understand that they wouldn't have known that once they start clicking, it just stops halfway. Because, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
This one, I think so. Clicker. The microphones are really bad. All right, may I have a big applause for the very last team of today, the team from Germany, Hi-Brun.
Welcome to the NIBS Worldwide Business Case Competition 2025. May I ask you to switch all mobile phones? The presentation will last 15 minutes. I'm the timekeeper and I will signal where there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please note after seeing the sign. After the presentation, the judges have 10 minutes for questions and answers. I will signal where there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please note after seeing the sign, you all must stop when I indicate that the time is up, even if you are not finished. I will now give the judges some time to introduce themselves. After the introduction, the team may begin presenting on my signal.
Hello, everyone. My name is Xiangli Ma. I'm a researcher in Modern Management Center, Shanghai. And today my role is looking into your marketing.
Hello, everybody. My name is Xin Zhao. I come from the host university, Jufei, and focus on marketing to do the research with for more than 20 years. And I have cooperated with NIBS for more than 10 years. Thanks.
Hello, Bhumipat from Bangkok, Thailand, Assumption University. I'm in charge of MBA there. And today I'm going to look into the financial part for your project.
Hello, my name is Willie Redmond. I'm from Southeast Missouri State University in the U.S. And today I'll be playing the role of Ma Shaw, who's the Senior Vice President of Tencent.
Hello, my name is Chris Stragi from the University of Northern Iowa. Today I'm going to be paying attention to your implementation plan and how you plan to move us forward.
Good afternoon. I'm Albert Elam from the International Business Academy in Kolding, Denmark, and I'm looking at investments today.
Are you ready? You can start your presentation.
Wer nicht wagt, der nicht gewinnt. This is a German saying that pretty much states, if you never are able to take any risks, you will also not be that successful. Our name is German Consulting and we thank you judges, but of course also everyone else to be here with us today. My name is Lily and I will start with a short introduction of why we're here today. Then our business analyst Regine will go deeper into your status quo. Afterwards, Hagen, our strategy manager, will tell you about the alternatives that we have come up with. I will give a deeper insight into our recommendation. Then Henrik will give you more insights into the impact of our alternative and of course the couple of risks you need to consider. And in the end, I will give you a short summary. So why are we here today? You have had some key questions in the past. One of them, for example, being which investment strategy should you follow when investing into the SOC market? On the other hand, of course, there is a great risk right now to invest into the gaming sector since it's a really high flop rate here. And of course, also with the SOC market not being that developed by now, you have to think about the monetarization system you want to follow here. So the key question is, how can you successfully tackle this new and really promising market by reducing the risks that come along with it? Regine, can you please tell us more about the current situation?
Thank you, Lily. So in order to look at the current situation, you have to have a look at the internal view, but also the external view. Let's start with the internal view. So what you as a company bring to the table. While besides being the biggest company in the gaming sector, you also have a broad portfolio of apps and services enabling you to have a smooth and seamless implementation of the apps, for example, WeChat. Then on the other hand, you also have to have a look at the people inside of your company. Therefore, you have the Game Research Center, giving you the opportunity to have close relationships between gamer and development communities to foster ideas, innovation, and creativity. On top of this, also you can monitor updates here. In terms of partnerships, you are very autonomous and decentral, making you have a very broad partnership network and also benefit from different work styles and culture. But on top of this, you also have a fierce competition within your market. That means you can also foster innovation here. When it comes to terms of analysis, you have the analysis of the monetization data, which gives you the opportunity to look at layer by layer which metrics are important, especially when it comes to which game and which stage. Keyword which stage, you want to have map the market to be in the early stages, so you have the mapping of the market to monitor the new gaming products, but also the pipelines covering almost 90% of the market. So when it comes to a breakthrough, you want to support this via the triple down. That means by supporting, you give them license, ad investments, and marketing. Okay, so now that we've had a look at your internal analysis, we see that you're a very attractive company to collaborate with, but you also have a very good groundwork when it comes to technology, which makes you mitigate the risks and also see the opportunities right ahead of you. So that makes us look into the external analysis, the market. Starting with the market is a very saturated market, but that means if there is a new market, there are also new opportunities. To measure this, you have the retention rate, but also average revenue per user. On top of this, you have the games as a served model, which is a very modern model, giving you the opportunity to update the games, but also to test the player's appetite. That means how much are they willing to pay. Nevertheless, we heard before there is a high flop rate, which makes it even more important to use the internal analysis, meaning the mapping system here, which make you even more concerning about the indies, which are the small, independent, and enthusiastic development groups that need help with infrastructure and resources, because when they bring innovation to the market, then they could need you as a company with good infrastructure and resources. Last but not least, you also have to mention there is a fierce investment competition. That means also here, use your competitive advantage. Now that we had an overview of the whole market, let's break it down and have a look at the emerging SoC genre. It is strongly characterized by the strong user engagement and also the trend, but it is still a very premature market due to the lack of game loop, but also there's no clear monetization model yet. Meaning that if you combine your competitive advantage and the market trends, internal and external analysis, it could be a very promising market in the development stage, which could need some further optimization and development and investments. To sum everything up, we have a look at your key strengths, which is definitely the broad network of partners that you have, where you can foster the innovation inside. But on the other hand, you also have a weakness, which is the disadvantage of investment negotiation due to the fierce competition in this field. Looking at the opportunities right ahead of you, you have a very promising SoC market, but you also want to mitigate the threat of a fierce competition, but also the difficulty of developing an unproven game genre. Thank you so much. In order to do this, Hagen will tell you more about the alternatives.
So, thank you, Regine. We talk about the 3 different alternatives we came up with. The first one would be the SoC SAX, which means no investment in the SoC sector in the future, and you would allocate your existing resources to other genres. And of course, you would probably miss some investment opportunities in the SoC segment with this option. The second option would be the SoC standby, which would mean it's like a standby version. You follow the market and see or do some light investments in the market. You would minimize your flop risk with this option, but of course you would have a disadvantage compared to other companies that are investing more resources in this genre. The last option then is SoC Succeeds, which would mean a broad investment in the SoC market into different publishers. It's a very broad here. And of course, you would gain a competitive advantage compared to other companies. But also, of course, the flop risk is very high because you allocate many resources in just one sector here. So how did we decide what you should do? We had some different key issues, like Lily said before. The most severe one here would be the investment strategy in the SoC sector. We come for this key issue with 4 different criteria. The first one would be the possible long-term financial impact, and also the short-term financial impact of this option. Then also the market situation, which we have to consider, and then also the competitive advantage gained with any option. For the low game success rate, the key issue here, we also considered the risk of failure here. So quickly, we measured every criteria here, and you come to the conclusion that SoC Succeeds is the best option, mainly because of the good possible long-term financial impact, and also the market saturation in other markets in the gaming industry, and the competitive advantage you would gain. So, how should you implement this? We had a 3-step approach here, the 3 successes. So Lily, please talk about our implementation.
Thank you, Hang. So, as you see, the first step of our implementation is Success Invest. As we have already mentioned in our recommendation, we want to take a broad implementation, a broad investment strategy, because by that you can enhance control competition, but also bring in collaboration by giving the assets from central office. This will create a great innovative field. On the other hand, of course, if we go with a broad investment approach, you also need to see how can you lower your investment costs. Therefore, we want to really target the indies and also companies that are in an early stage of development, since here the investment costs are a bit lower. On the other hand, we enhance you to do a little bit more B2B marketing. Since we have seen you have a lot of competitive advantages to offer, this will also have to be communicated to these studios in order for them to understand that overbidding the costs for your collaboration is not necessary and not benefiting them in the end. So, and also, of course, to mention here again, with the triple down, you do not only accustom them in the beginning with starting investment, but also when they actually have a breakthrough. This is the B2B marketing. We have seen your key takeaways. We also want you to put in some of your expertise and the success story, your competitive advantage with the parenting approach, that you really give them autonomy, because this is what people look for when they develop new things and look into innovation. So, if we have already done the investments, we also want to access this competitive advantage even further and give them success assets. So how can you maximize the success rate? By limiting the risk, but also really enhancing the access you give to these studios. First is the VIP lounge in the Tencent game platform. You have already stated how important it is to really connect with the end users. Therefore, we want to implement this platform where you approach gamers to really try these undeveloped and unreleased products yet, so the developers get real feedback, how's it going so far, and you can already establish a user base pre-launching. On the other hand, we have seen that you also have great assets with platforms, for example WeChat, which can be used as a connecting platform to simplify the customer service, but also enhance the operations, for example when it comes to payment, but also the network between gamers, for example with trading market, that I will explain later. So let's look at our last step in the implementation, which is success systems. We've already seen that you really use AI and also analytics for your competitive advantage. So we believe that you should dip further into that and create a monthly report really focusing on the monetization options to keep updated which monetizing options are already used, but also what do customers prefer, where does their money actually go? Is it, for example, skins? Is it more actually getting the costs in the beginning to even get to play a game, or where do they go? So you can also give that report to the developers and they can implement it in their games. This is also bringing us to WeTrade. Again, connecting all your assets with the game. WeTrade would be a platform within your WeChat network that enhances and brings a competitive advantage within the monetization system. We, for example, have schemes where people use new emojis, for example, or new outfits, and we want you to also implement other platforms to create this competitive advantage where people can trade those in order to make the monetization system even more incentive. In addition to that, you can also create an additional revenue stream in this platform by giving some online ads to other gaming platforms. When do we want to implement what? Henrik, can you please tell us a little bit more about that?
Thank you, Lily. So starting off, you want to first analyze your potential independent studios, which you want to then acquire also in 2024 and 2025 as well. Also start with your mapping of the markets and sending out the reports. Also, after you acquired your studios, you then want to consult them and help them out and check on their progress with developing the new games in a 3-month increment. And also you want to start the development of your VIP lounge as well as the WeTrade interface already this year. On the external side, you want to start, as Lily mentioned, elaborate on the B2B marketing campaign and also start to find your gamers you want to have in your VIP lounge then. In 2025, you then also start the marketing for your WeTrade And in 2025, you then reach your first milestone, which is the introduction of your VIP launch. And in 2026, we then expect to see the first SoC genre game breakthrough, and also we see the introduction of the read rate then going live. Associated with every implementation steps are some costs, the most severe one being the investments for the acquisition of different studios, which is 1.1 billion US dollar. Speaking of finance, we now want to look into the financials. We can see here first the corporate finance. You can see in 2028 your whole group is generating a revenue of 93 billion US dollars, and he has broken down the gaming sector. First, you can see there are two primary markets: the international market and your domestic market. The domestic market is way bigger, and also currently only facing on the traditional genres. And later in progress in 2026, 2027, and 2028, the SoC sector will start seeing some revenues, and then the total revenue of the gaming sector will be 30 billion in 2028. So looking at the SoC sector in more detail, we can see this year one big investment is needed, and there are two additional revenue streams in the SoC sector. With every change, there are some risks you want to consider. The most severe one is the rising costs for AAA games, and to mitigate, you want to foster your partnerships with the independent studios and leverage your parenting advantage. And now back to Lily for a quick summary.
Thank you, Henrik. So we have asked a question how to tackle the SOD markets and minimize the risk. And we believe that with our 3 success step implementation, you will do exactly that. So let's look at it again. How can you minimize risk on your path of success? You really enhance innovation, use your core competences and strength, and also stay close to the users, because in the end, they will determine your success. Thank you.
Thank you, team. The presentation was 40 minutes and 53 seconds long. You now have 10 minutes for the question and answers period.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And you laid out, again, a nice flow and options and a plan for after selection. Right, but do you have any specific criteria for selecting the independents that's going to have the successful game so we can implement your plan?
We want to really look on the focus you have already set in the past, to really focus on the potential value less than the nominal value. Also, that's why we also wanted to implement an exchange approach in order to really make sure that you have some exchange with them and see if they go into the right direction. Because of course, we do not want you to put your money in a long-term investment somewhere where the innovation is not enhanced and you want to exposure. We believe with giving them all the options for innovation, with all the assets you offer them, but then also staying in close exchange and checking if they actually head into the right direction. We hope that this will definitely be the point to enhance the innovation and also the successful game.
Along with that, do you have in mind approximately how many studios that you would be looking at to be able to start the competitive process, and who's going to do it, and how are you going to discern them?
So the total number we can see, you're currently having your 4 in-house studios as well as the network of independent studios. So we think to add additional 9 studios in the next 2 years the right amount, and we can see we want to add 6 studios in 2024 and 3 other in 2025, and also associated, you can see the cost with an average valuation of 1 billion per studio, and the acquisition of 25%. Those are the costs for your acquisitions.
And if I might add to that, because I think you also asked how do we want to approach that, that's why we also wanted to implement the B2B marketing to really make clear and also advertise what are your core competences, because we believe that you have a great competitive advantage and really can use the assets that you already offer when it comes to technology, but also media platforms, and especially that you do not only help them in the beginning to get some starting capital, still give them the autonomy to go on, but also help them further if they actually get the breakthrough.
So most of the marketing that you discussed was in marketing to the potential studios that they should be involved with you. It wasn't marketing to the consumers.
Well, we want to implement a B2B marketing that really approaches the studio that you want to work with, for them to also understand your, for example, approach when it comes to parental coaching, that you really give them the go, just do your thing and enhance your innovation, and we support you. But of course, especially for the exchange between the developers and also gamers, we also created some additional marketing that you can see with the VIP lounge, where we have also stated who we want to approach, which is gamers who already have also a marketing base, which you can then use further, but you can also collaborate with networks. For example, there's the 42 programming school, which is an international programming school, which for example is in Hi-Brun, but also in Paris or Bangkok, and there's a high affinity of gamers, so you can, for example, approach a whole network where you have a high gaming affinity and tell them, hey, you can use unreleased programs, isn't that nice? Just in order to give some feedback. So therefore you have the gamers with high affinity who want to try these programs, then give back feedback to the developers who can actually use that and also mitigate the risk with that, which other competitors, for example, do also not offer the studios. So this is an additional competitive advantage when approaching your studios.
Okay, cool. So we had a few problems with this whole genre in the first place, as you know. And one of the reasons why this SOC may suck, if I may use your words, in the first place is because people didn't finish games, or there's really no game loop to keep them going. Did you address that? Could you help me how you're going to kind of solve that problem?
So basically, we're the investors. We give a groundwork for our companies we invest in, and they have to kind of develop the specific game loops here. But for example, we give the basis for example, a battle pass, which is some things, a monthly subscription, and then the person or the players can own some rewards after this. And this would also help with retaining or with letting the players play the game even longer, and they don't stop the game. So it's kind of promising to play the game also in the future.
Okay.
If I might add to that, we also believe that our approach with bringing together some controlled competition but also collaboration by offering them the assets, we create an innovative field where people actually come to these new ideas. Oh, how can we actually implement a game where people can continue playing at all times? In addition to that, creating the network with the gamers who might also have ideas, because that's what they do a lot in their mind. We can bring in these ideas to and directly to the developers by connecting these two parts.
So you don't have any specific ideas how to do it now, but you're saying by bringing these people there, that's what their job is to do, to do. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm very keen on your ROI. You have said 425% of ROI. Is it right?
So yeah, basically you see your added revenue and your investments in total, and the investments are broken down for every of those implementation steps.
So this ROI 425% in what time span? You're talking about 4 years or 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. Okay, and what's your revenue stream? I think you have in your business canvas.
So now here's the revenue stream broken down into the international and domestic markets, and you have on top your current game collections as well as the new SOC sector, and broken down, you can see the number of users in each market we want to try to utilize in each year. And also, as Harald already said, there's the idea of having recurring revenue from like types of a battle pass scenario where the players have a small amount subscription-based usage. It's in the international market $8 and in the domestic market $5, and then we have a percentage of that of our users or players which are utilizing or using this battle pass, and also there's an additional revenue source from one-time purchases, which then will add up to our revenue.
Okay. What is the revenue model? How do you get revenue?
From either those subscriptions that the players have in the game, and also the additional purchases in the stores where you get additional skins. Or
So this is a subscription, what, monthly base, yearly base?
the player decides if they want to purchase the battle pass or not in each month. And then they can have additional perks in the game.
If I might add to that, there are also really successful monetizing system which we want to tap into, for example, using the battle pass, but also the skins that you can purchase, and then also enhance it with the platforms that you have, for example, WeChat, to create this trade market where you can additionally also, for example, bring ads for the different gamings. So there are already established monetizing systems that you can use again, but also create a competitive advantage on top of that by linking them with the platforms within your company.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your presentation. And I have one question about the market. Based on your data, we can see you estimate the domestic market is 5 times as big as the foreign market, based on your data. And well, of course, if you want to expand your market, and you have to put investment. So in this way, do you think it's worth a try to invest a large number of money to the foreign countries, or just need to focus on in domestic country? That means China. Yeah.
To sum it up a little bit, stating what your company has said as opportunity over cost. So you want to get this opportunity for innovation, and we think this will come back as a good investment and will be a great opportunity for your company. So yes, it should be worth it.
And in addition to that, we have also learned from you guys that actually you have stated that if a game, for example, works in the international market, it will also work in the domestic market. So we believe that choosing in the beginning the studios will not necessarily be focused only on the domestic, but also on the international.
Well, we are done. So this concludes the NIBS final 2025. Of course, you're curious about the results, but they will be announced tonight. So you have to be patient a little bit. So now we are done here. We will leave by bus to the hotel at 6:15. So 6:15, we want to leave. No later than that, because again, the schedule is tight. And then the results will be announced during the great gala dinner. And may the best win. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in, I don't know, less than 2 hours.